How are we looking this week, Dom?
Alrighty, Friday feedback, viewer mailbag. Alright, this is like what, week 2?
Week 3.
Week 3.
We have helped 2 people thus far. We're about to help 3. Hopefully this is a happy one. I don't know. You let me know, and I will take notes as I always do.
This one is not a happy one.
Oh, man.
This one's not great. Not great. I'm gonna be myself when reading it. Usually, however I display sadness, I'm always gonna have a smile on my face. That's like my default. Some
Okay.
people have resting
RBF?
RBF, thank you. They just when they rest their face, they're walking around, they just look pissed, right? I have resting happy face, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
I walk around with a smile on my face all day. So
I have RBF, so.
no, you're good. So yeah, I mean, I got snacks in the fridge and Chris to my side, so what could be worse?
There we go.
Alrighty, so today's viewer mailbag on the Friday feedback. Getting right into it. My wife passed away and left a horrible financial situation. I need advice.
Oh.
Alrighty. So, hey, Fi Guys. I first off, it's a great way to address us. Hey, Fi Guys, or howdy, Fi Guys. Big fan of the howdies. Howdy, Fi Guys. I'm a 32-year-old active duty military member.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys. Those guys are amazing. And gals.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Yes, sir. For the past decade, my wife managed all of our finances. Okay. Holding a general power of attorney to handle things during my multiple deployments. I didn't spend much. And always sought her approval for purchases. I tend to stress easily, and I was content to let her take care of everything. Tragically, my wife passed away unexpectedly last month, leaving me and my 9-year-old child, who has special needs. After a month, wow, okay, that's unfortunate. After a month, I've finally been able to piece things together for the financial situation she left behind, which has been nothing short of a nightmare. Okay, I'm torn between grief and anger at this point. Here are some critical points. Approximately $29,000 in credit card debt spread across 3 maxed out credit cards. Around $12,000 in unsecured debt, comprising 3 personal loans from our bank and 3 loans through a firm. Okay. We have 2 cars with $8,000 left on my car, and I'm planning to sell hers next week. Fourth and final point: there's still $560,000 on the mortgage, which is approximately worth $700,000. Okay, so the house went up in value, $140,000. I visited NFCU today. What's NFCU? What do we got?
Based off context there, I'm going to assume it's Navy Federal Credit Union.
Okay, so it's like a bank, but it's a credit union. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a bank. I actually bank with one of my banks.
Cool. I visited Navy Federal Credit Union today to explore my options, and the outcome was twofold. A consolidation loan won't work because of our credit score that has been negatively impacted by her actions, making us ineligible. Home equity, like a HELOC or home equity line of credit, is also not feasible, as our current 3% interest rate will skyrocket to 8%, at least 8%, given the current rates for my credit score. Moreover, I no longer have her income to rely on. I'm uncertain about what steps to take and where to turn for guidance from a man in times of strife, rebuilding his life after the loss of his wife. Alrighty. Well, that's not that's too bad. That is too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Yeah. Not great. Not great. But they do have a wonderful little child. They didn't specify boy or girl, but they have a wonderful little child. That's pretty awesome. He's healthy. That's pretty awesome. And he's willing to get help.
Yeah, I'll get into this in just a second. Just give me. Oh, this one's hitting me more than I thought it would. First off, man, one sec. First off, I'm really sorry to hear that you lost your wife, man. I think this is hitting me hard because I know what it's like to be, if I was to lose my spouse, I don't know where I would be. And another thing is, I grew up in a military family, and I've seen this multiple times with friends and people who I've been close to. I've seen it both the active duty military spouse dying, and then I've seen the opposite. So obviously I don't know the pain, but I've seen it. So again, I'm sorry. Most important thing to remember is this is just money. You need to give yourself the time to grieve and spend time with your kid. And remember, first and foremost, your mental health comes first. You can't be focusing on this stuff if it's going to be a detriment, because you need to be there for yourself and, most importantly, your child. All financial things can be fixed, but your family, yourself, if we go down too dark of a road, I've seen people never come back from that. Finances can always be fixed. I promise you that. Let's get into the actual finances. Sorry about that. Yeah. So first off, it sounds like most of the unsecured debt, honestly, man, is just noise. That's all it is. You told us that you have bad credit. You have a house with a great rate, and hopefully a solid car. I would consider right now, first off, let's set aside the unsecured debt, and what that means is your credit cards and your personal loans from a bank and a firm, just for a bit. Some of them honestly may be discharged due to the loss of your spouse, and some of them you may be able to settle due to the nature of the circumstance. But for now, I would respond to the debt collectors, as they're calling, and just letting them know, at least once a month, and let them know that you are working on a debt repayment plan, and you'll let them know as soon as you can. But be kind, be courteous. We've talked about that in previous podcasts. You've already said that your credit's already tanked. I would just let those continue to just kind of tank your credit, as we focus on you building yourself up and being there for your family. Obviously, I understand the military pretty well, so I would speak with your CO, your commanding officer, and make sure that your job's protected. Many positions in the military, they have special background clearance, and having bad personal finances or having a bankruptcy or anything against that can actually affect your job. So please speak to your CO and let them know what's going on. I'm sure they're aware that your wife passed away already, but you also need to let them know about the financial situation as to what's going on so that they can help you. Your commanding officer, they are there to help you first and foremost. So setting aside the $41,000 of unsecured debt and one car, I got to ask you, can you handle the car payment and the house payment by yourself? If you can, then I say that we continue to do that. Additionally, have you applied for Social Security benefits for your child yet? Your wife sounds like she was working, so you can apply for Social Security benefits in order to help to bridge that gap in case you can't pay for the car and the house by yourself. Everyone falls down, and luckily the federal government, we are here. We all pool together. That's what we pay taxes for, is to help in situations like this when people fall down. So we're all trying to help you there. Additionally, let's see here. Oh, you also might want to look and see if any of the credit cards, loans, or bank accounts have any life insurance policies on them. Sometimes they do, and that might actually be a good way to pay off that $41,000. While Don was reading, I went on and I went to the VA's website. Active duty spouses and active duty members are covered by life insurance through the military, so you should definitely look into that as well. For active duty military members, it's $500,000, $500,000, but for spouses, it's usually around $100,000 in tax-free money that could come to you. So you can apply for that, and that'll get you $100,000. That's going to wipe out the debt immediately. So that's why I said we're not even going to worry about that. So yeah, you definitely need to contact the VA and provide a death certificate, and you should be able to settle all that debt, no problem. So please do that. Let your commanding officer know. And then you also said that your wife has income. So that means, or she had income that was paying towards the house and everything. So that indicates that she had a job. Many employers actually have life insurance that's automatically enrolled when you're working in. So I would also contact her job and see if that policy was in place, or if there was a policy in place, because that could be some extra money to also be able to do that. And if all that didn't help, you can always reach out to me at monsonwealth.com. I know all this seems overwhelming. But it's just like the military. You know what you need to do. You just have to prioritize and execute. Don't try to look at this as a whole picture that we need to fix it right now. Just focus one thing at a time and just knock it off, or knock things down until we get there. And again, man, I'm so sorry for your loss. Please honestly remember that it's just money. Give yourself the time to grieve. Give yourself the time to be there with your kids. And Dom and I are sending you big hugs from Arizona.
Definitely. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I was almost crying when you read that. I try not to lose it. This case it shows the importance of talking with your partner and being there for your partner when it comes, and being on the same page when it comes to money. Obviously, he said that money stresses him out, and I'm not doubting that. And I know it's really, really tough, but I've seen this situation pan out multiple times where one spouse is in charge of everything, and then when they pass away, that other spouse is left holding the bag. And I've also seen that there are people in this world that will go after those kinds of people to maliciously take what they can. I've seen bad advisors or brokers do that. That's what a lot of the life insurance industry is geared towards. That's why they work in funeral homes. It's because it's up and people are thinking about it.
Yeah, that's tough.
So as we're doing the FI crash course, obviously I'm writing this as we're kind of moving through, and I've been kind of considering, should we do an insurance portion of the FI crash course, because it is important to have that risk mitigation. And this put it in perspective, and I will definitely do that probably in the next two. We'll be doing that. I'll be adding that in there. And also one thing that I noticed that you said that you're torn between grief and anger with your wife over what's going on. Dude, I know that your wife was doing the best that she can, and I understand the anger. I really do, but I know that she wasn't trying to hurt you. Remember, everyone does the best they can with the knowledge that they have, and I'm sure that's the same for your wife. And I'm sure if she knew a better way, that she would have done it, but she only knew what she knew. And I've seen this in my own life, so please take what we're talking about here, because the type of things that we are talking about can change a life so that you don't have to go through this. If we can stop one person from having to go through something like this, then all the time that we put into this podcast is 100% worth it to me.
Absolutely.